following clip is something that happens to each of us a few times in our career. You're working the...
John, you want to speak here?
Yeah. Okay. There's going to be two pretty interesting clips. This is the first one on whether a batter gets hit or not in the box and what the umpire does about it. In my opinion, this was handled extremely well. Again, you don't always know whether or not he was hit or not. You don't always know whether the ball hit the bat or the hands. But the default thought needs to be, it hit the bat. Assume that it hit the bat unless you see something that clearly says it hit his hand. So assume it hit the bat. But here's what was great about this. Steve takes the play and owns it. And it's not an issue, really, till the coach comes out. And the coach comes out, and he wants to question the play. Steve immediately handled this play extremely well. Immediately. He stood up, he took up, and he made signals. He put the guy where he wanted him. He made it clear it was definitive. And now the coach comes out and talks to him, and he actually taps his chest, saying, "Coach, it's my call, it's my call, it's my call." Okay? And because of the way he handled it, because of the way he took charge of it, owned that call in a pretty credible way, there was very little opportunity for arguing. Did the ball hit the batter? Did it hit the bat? Wait and see. Stop the play, call time, and see what happens. See how people react. But this was excellent. And the one thing I want to say about it that might be a little bit confusing is that if you look at this play again another time, won't be here, you'll see that Steve immediately takes his hands and down kind of low, slaps his hands together as it was a foul tip signal. Not a good mechanic there. Not a good mechanic, because it's going to confuse people, because this is not a foul tip, and it should no way be confused as one. But he did that. He made that signal, and it may have confused a few people. Let's go ahead and move to the next situation.
You're working the plate and have had several close pitches go against the defense. The catcher asks you on a couple of pitches about where you've had them. Now you look at your left towards the dugout because you hear the head coach asking the catcher, "Where are those pitches? Are they up, down, in, out?" The catcher says, "Coach, they're good pitches." Then the coach starts to chatter directly towards you. Then there is time called on the field. You walk up the foul line away from the coach's dugout, and you look towards the dugout, and here comes the coach. He's a smart one. He has the lineup cards in his hands. How would you handle this one?
Fielder number 7, Preston Clark.
Hey, Greg, pause for a second. Guys, think about, real quick, I'm just going to say, think about the model we just talked about and watch the way, here's a stressful situation, and watch how he prevents the breach into something more and then prevents it from getting down the stream. It's a really nice job to think about in that regard.
Let's talk about some personality issues and how different personalities may handle something differently. this is just me talking, and not everybody is going to be me, okay? And I'm not even saying I'm right, okay? Definitely made mistakes. But for me, I would not have wanted to see Pat come out of the dugout on that play, especially in the College World Series. I would have tried not to let that happen. And the way I would have done that, if you had the opportunity to replay this video, you would notice that Pat, in the dugout, is barking big time at Tony. I mean, he's giving him a ration in the dugout. And Tony chooses to ignore it. And Pat is going on, and Tony is going to ignore it. That's going to be his style. And Pat's getting frustrated. And part of that frustration is, you know, is the umpire hearing me? Does he realize he's in the College World Series? Does he realize how big this is? You know, what am I going to do? And then Pat gets frustrated and has to come out and talk to Tony, and he brings the lineup card. Now, everybody knows what's going on there. Everybody knows it. He's bringing the lineup card so that it might be perceived as though they're talking about a substitution or something other than a head coach sitting in the dugout arguing balls and strikes. And make no mistake about this. That's what was happening. You have a head coach in the College World Series verbally, obviously, right at the top of the dugout, yelling about balls and strikes. And now we're going to let him out there with the lineup card. Some people will say good officiating. Some people will say that's fine, that's great. You know, it's not up to him to prevent the head coach from being stupid. But if the head coach can get away with it, you know, how stupid is he? Just me now. Just think now. Don't do it because I say so. But if I were in that game, I would not have ignored it. I might have ignored it for a statement or a sentence. But on and on, no way am I ignoring that. Okay? So I'm turning around to the dugout, and I'm telling Pat, shut up. Now he can't come out with his lineup card. He loses that opportunity to come out with that lineup card. College World Series, 8 teams there, and everybody in the ballpark sees Tony allowing a discussion on balls and strikes. Me personally, I don't like it. Now, there's a lot of people that saw this, and pretty good umpires too, that saw this and said, hey, let's not over-officiate. It's not our call. He was smart. Give him credit. Well, that's what Tom Hyler said at the beginning. He's a smart one, remember? But I don't buy it. So me personally, I'm going to figure out a way to tell him not to come out or tell him he's not arguing balls and strikes so that now when he does come out, he's coming out in jeopardy. This would be a great discussion. We can't have it here, but that was something that I consider to be something we should not allow here. Let's move on.
John, for consistency's sake, I want to concur completely. And this happens so much at the lower levels, and I think we probably deal with guys not questioning balls and strikes in a very good way at the D3 level and high school for that matter. Even maybe more so than at the Division I level. And I absolutely want our umpires to shut down the balls and strike stuff. Give the warning, it's out there, and use it when you need to.
This next clip is definitely a tough one to handle. Sometimes they seem impossible to get correct. After this one happens right in front of you, you come up nice and strong and point the batter to first base. You know the coach is going to come out on this one. In lieu of what we've learned today in our new rules video, how would you handle this one? Do you go for help on this one? If you do go for help, what do you say to the coach before you go to your partners?
Major poll. George is ranked #1 in that one. I mean, really throw a hat in. This is going to be a great postseason for both those leagues. Pitch inside. Did it hit Himes? Did it hit him? Home plate umpire. I believe home plate umpire Mark Chapman says it hit him, and that's what's happening.